Oh, hi. I didn't see you there. I'm Philbert D, and it's way too humid to be wearing this jacket. This is Phil on Films. This week, tayo sa Huling Buwan ng Taon, Man and Wife, and Pokemon Detective Pikachu.
Alam ko yung isip mo.
Ano?
No regrets, diba?
Nico Manalo and Emmanuel Vera reprised the roles from 2015's Ang Kwento Nating Dalawa. Sam and Isa are now with different people and haven't seen each other in years, but some things remain unresolved between them, and some feelings resurface when they run into each other once again. The film makes some bold narrative choices. That chance meeting takes place much deeper into the story than you might be expecting. For a good long while, the movie is just about these two relationships which don't have much to do with each other. The film hints at parallels, but it largely keeps the tension as subtext. And that stuff is pretty good. It's this oddly restrained depiction of functional relationships viewed through the terrific camera work of Take Lamore. Stuff between the couples isn't perfect. They are, after all, people with histories and hang-ups, and there's always some level of compromise involved in even the happiest of unions. But that stuff is genuinely pretty compelling. But then things get dramatic, and it all becomes a little harder to swallow. The film ends up losing a lot of that restraint, pushing its characters into these big confrontations that belie the growth that they've accumulated in the intervening years. I just didn't buy the drama when it came, and I think the film had already shown other ways of expressing that tension without having the characters blow up at each other. I just wish we had more of that instead. 2.5 stars.
We got lost.
I wish we were going home for another reason, other than a stroke.
Gabby Concepcion and Jody Santamaria are Carding and Lucia, a married couple living in the States. They go home to the Philippines to tend to Carding's mother, who has just suffered a stroke. Carding's mother is the mayor of the town, and he is almost immediately drawn into political intrigue involving dealings with a mining operation. This creates a rift between the couple, who find themselves on opposite sides of the struggle. There's a lot going on paper. There's dirty politics and class struggle and family conflict, all filtered through the lens of a crumbling marriage. It should be thrilling, but it isn't. Part of the problem is that the film keeps the two leads apart for so long. So much of this film is about how Lucia is kept in the dark about all the dealings of Carding's family, which means that when we get to scenes that are about her, it feels like a distraction from the issues that the film is trying to address. This lack of communication between the couple seems to be part of the point of the movie, but that doesn't excuse it from all of its stilted drama. And even when the couple does start communicating, it doesn't make that much of a difference. Problems resolve themselves without Lucia's input. And before lunging into these melodramatic scenes driven by a terrible musical score. I want to give the film credit for having its heart in the right place, but if we're being honest, it doesn't make that much of a difference. 1.5 stars.
Parang akong nasa kumunoy. Palalim ng palalim, wala akong makapitan.
A Mother's Day presentation, Man and Wife, a film by Laurice Guillen.
So there I was. I woke up with a heavy case of amnesia in the middle of nowhere. The only clue to my past is Harry's name and address inside this hat. So I made my way to the apartment, and that's when I found you and your stapler gun.
Stop talking! You're a hallucination!
You're a hallucination.
Justice Smith plays Tim, who, following the news of an accident involving his estranged police detective father, travels to Rhyme City, a metropolis where Pokemon roam freely in the streets and work in unity with the human partners. At his dad's apartment, he encounters his dad's partner, a Pikachu. Inexplicably, Tim can understand every word that the Pikachu is saying, all in the voice of Ryan Reynolds. And what he's being told is that his dad might still be alive. This probably goes without saying, but this film is weird. It's a film noir for kids that involves Pokemon and has an absolutely insane villainous plan that I can't even begin to explain. That said, it's confidently weird. It doesn't try to water down the strangeness by trying to rationalize it, nor does it try to pass it off as a weird joke. It instead embraces the oddness inherent to creating a film called Detective Pikachu and just runs with it.
Did you just talk?
Whoa.
Did you just understand me?
Oh my god, you can understand me! Stop! I've been so lonely!
The resulting film probably won't convince anyone already skeptical of Pokemon to jump aboard. But if you're open to general weirdness, there's some fun to be had.
You can hear him, right?
Pika Pika! Yeah, Pika Pika Pika, he's adorable.
You're adorable. They can't understand me, kid.
The film stages a couple of really well-done action sequences in the back end, and the baby noir aesthetics make the film look a lot more interesting than it has any right to be. And yeah, hearing Ryan Reynolds' voice come out of Pikachu is a novelty that keeps on giving.
Another round, extra shot. Back is night. Thank you, sweetie.
It's all nonsense in the end, but it's nonsense with some level of conviction. The film's commitment to its own insanity makes it feel like there's a vision behind this licensed property. It isn't life-changing by any means, but if your kids drag you to a screening of this, there's stuff in here that you might just enjoy. 3.5 stars. Thanks for joining us. There's actually a lot of movies out this week, and I wish I could get to all of them, but there's only so much time and I'm getting old. If you see any of these films and you like them or don't like them, leave a comment or whatever. Tell me about it. Like and subscribe, do all the internet things, and until next time, goodbye internet. We're all in the Matrix now, boys.